You did it. You finally brought your dream home here in Palm Bay, Florida. You were picturing weekend barbecues, quiet evenings on the lanai, maybe finally getting that boat you were always talking about. But now, a few months in, the dream feels more like a financial trap. You're sitting at the kitchen table, staring at your bank account, and just feeling this wave of regret, wondering, where's all the money going? The sunshine just doesn't feel as bright when you're stressed about making your next mortgage payment. And look, you're not alone. This is the reality for a startling number of new homeowners in Palm Bay in 2025. This isn't about being bad with money. It's about walking into a housing market that has completely changed, armed with old information and outdated expectations. The rules of the game are different now, and not knowing them is costing people their savings, their peace of mind, and sometimes even their homes. My name is Stephen Thomas, and as a real estate professional right here in the Space Coast, I've been in the trenches with new buyers for years. I've seen the wins and the losses, and today, we're cutting through the noise to get brutally honest. We're breaking down the 5 critical mistakes that are draining bank accounts, and more importantly, how you can steer clear of them. We'll cover everything from the sticker price of the houses to the sneaky hidden costs that are blindsiding so many people. If you're even thinking about buying a home in Palm Bay, or if you've just closed and you're already feeling that squeeze, this is the most important video you will watch this year. Let's get into it. All right, let's jump right into the biggest, most immediate mistake people are making: accidentally overpaying for their home. You've probably been watching the market for a couple of years now. You saw friends buy homes in 2022 and 2023 and watched the equity explode. You saw the bidding wars, the offers flying tens of thousands over the asking price, and you mentally prepped for that same battle. So you come into 2025 with that warrior mindset, ready to pay top dollar to win the house. Here's the cold hard truth: the war is over. And if you're still fighting it, you're only fighting against your own bank account. The market has shifted, and it's shifted dramatically. Data from late 2025 shows that home values in Palm Bay have dropped. Depending on the source, we're seeing a year-over-year price decline of anywhere from 4% to 6.3%. The median home price, which was soaring not too long ago, is now sitting in the low 300s. Yet, some buyers, especially those coming from out of state or those who haven't been obsessively tracking the weekly numbers, are still making offers based on those peak 2023 values. They see a home listed at a price that would have been a good deal back then and think it's reasonable, when in reality, its true 2025 value is tens of thousands of dollars less. So what does overpaying by, say, $20,000 really mean? It's not just a number. It's instant, painful, negative equity. It means the second you get those keys, your mortgage is already higher than what your home is actually worth in the current market today. Imagine buying a home for $340,000. A month later, your new neighbor with the same exact floor plan buys theirs for $320,000. You just paid a $20,000 premium for what exactly? For not knowing the market has cooled? That's a brand new car. That's a college fund for your kids. That's your entire emergency savings just gone. This isn't just about feeling like you got a bad deal, it traps you. If you face a sudden job loss or a medical emergency and need to sell in the next year or two, you could be forced to bring a massive check to closing just to pay off your loan. You're starting your home ownership journey underwater, and in a market that's still correcting, it could take years just to break even. So, how do you avoid this trap? You have to become a student of the current market, not the one from 2 years ago. First, demand a real deal competitive market analysis from a real estate agent. A good CMA will show you 3 things: homes for sale, which is your competition; pending homes, which is the most recent activity; and most importantly, homes that have sold and closed in the last 30 to 60 days. Anything older than 90 days is ancient history in this market. Look at the original list price versus the final sales price. In 2025, a lot of homes are selling for under asking price right now. Second, use the tools you have. Go on Zillow and Redfin, but don't just stare at the Zestimate. Look for days on market. Are homes sitting for 70, 90, or even 100 days? That is a huge sign of a cooling market. Check the price history. How many times has the seller dropped the price? If a house started at $360,000 and is now at $330,000 after 80 days, that tells you the seller's initial price was based on a different era. Third, and this is a key, work with a buyer's agent who is brutally honest and knows this area inside and out, like myself. A great agent in this 2025 market won't just unlock doors, they'll actively talk you out of a bad offer. They'll be the one to say, this home is beautiful, but it's priced for 2023. Here's the data on what it's worth today, and here's the offer we should write based on that. An agent's job isn't to help you buy any house, it's to help you make a smart investment. In a market that is shifting in your favor, the power is with you. the buyer. Don't give that power away by overpaying. The second reason new homeowners are digging themselves into a financial hole is by making a gamble with catastrophic consequences. Waiving the home inspection. During the market frenzy, waiving the inspection was a desperate tactic to stand out. Some buyers in 2025 still think it gives them an edge. Others just want to save the $400 to $600 in inspection costs, thinking the house looks fine, what could possibly go wrong? Let me be blunt with you. This is probably the single most dangerous financial mistake a home buyer in Florida can ever make. A house isn't a used car. You can't just glance under the hood. The most expensive problems are almost always the ones you can't see. Let me paint you a quick picture. You close on a gorgeous Palm Bay home. You spend the first weekend painting and picking out furniture. Then after the first big Florida thunderstorm, you notice a weird musty smell. You find a dark creeping stain on the drywall. And guess what? You call a roofer who delivers gut-wrenching news. The roof has a slow leak that was cleverly patched over. The decking underneath is rotting, and the fix? A whole new roof for $25,000. That $500 you saved just cost you 50 times that much. And this isn't just a scare tactic, these are real stories I hear. I've seen buyers find foundation issues hidden under fresh mulch. I've seen them discover an entire house needing replumbing. A common one is an old faulty electrical panel that needs a $10,000 to $15,000 overhaul. Here in Florida, we have unique challenges. Humidity breeds mold, old soil can cause settling, and termites are a relentless threat that can cause thousands in damages before you even see a single sign. Then there's the insurance angle. In the middle of Florida's insurance crisis, many companies won't even write a policy without a 4-point inspection, which covers the big four: roof, electrical, plumbing, and HVAC. If you waive your full inspection and then find out the 18-year-old roof makes the home uninsurable, you might not get a mortgage, and your whole deal could collapse, taking your deposit with it. The solution here is simple and non-negotiable. Always get a professional licensed home inspection. First, understand that an inspection isn't a pass-fail test, it's an education. A good inspector will spend hours at the property and give you a huge report with photos and notes on every little thing. This report is a roadmap to your house's health. It tells you the age of the AC, the water heater, and the roof, so you can budget for their eventual replacement. Second, use that report as a negotiation tool. In this market, you have the leverage. If the inspection finds the AC is at its last leg, you can go back to the seller and ask them to either make repairs or give you a credit at closing. Or, if the problems are too big, you can use your inspection contingency to simply walk away and get your deposit back. The inspection is your simple greatest protection against buying a money pit. Finally, hire the right inspector. Don't just go with the cheapest one. Ask for recommendations for inspectors who are known for being nitpicky. You want the person who climbs into every corner of the attic, and consider a specialized inspection like a WDO report or a wealth destroying organism report. This is an inspection for termites. Never let anyone, not a seller, not even your own excitement, pressure you into skipping this. It's the best money you'll ever spend in the home buying process. So, you negotiated a great price and the inspection was clean. You dodged the first 2 bullets. Now comes the third, one that's causing the most widespread financial pain for new homecomers in Palm Bay. Dramatically underestimating the real monthly cost of owning a home. First-time home buyers are laser focused on mortgage payment, the principal and the interest, or P&I. You get pre-approved, you use an online calculator, and you think, okay, I can afford $1,800 a month. But here's the trap. That P&I is just the tip of the iceberg. The full payment is PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. And in Florida, those last 2 are financial wrecking balls. Add in the HOA fees, and you have the big 3 ongoing costs that turns affordable dream homes into monthly budget busters. Let's start with the big one. Homeowners insurance. Calling it a crisis in Florida is an understatement. It's a financial nightmare for many due to hurricane risk and a million other factors. Our insurance costs are the highest in the nation right now. New buyers get quotes that are literally breathtaking. They might be used to paying $1,500 a year somewhere else. Then they get a quote for a similar home in Palm Bay and it's $5,000, $7,000, or even $10,000 a year. That's an extra $400 to $800 a month they never planned for. The state average for a standard home is already thousands of dollars annually, and it can be much higher. The age of the roof, the type of electrical panel, whether you have hurricane shutters, all of it can make your premium skyrocket or even make the home uninsurable. I've seen deals fall apart weeks after signing because the final insurance quote came in and blew the buyer's budget to pieces. Next up is a sneaky one, property taxes. A buyer looks at the seller's current tax bill online, which says, for example, $2,000 a year. They think, great, that's only $167 a month, but you're wrong. In Florida, when a home is sold, the property value is reassessed based on the new higher sales price. That previous homeowner might have a lower tax bill because they bought the home 20 years ago and were protected by the Save Our Homes cap, which limits tax increases. That protection does not transfer to you. So you buy that same home for $320,000, the county will reassess its value to be at or near the new price. Your tax bill isn't going to be $2,000. With current rates in Palm Bay, it's going to be much closer to $3,500 or more. Your monthly tax payment just doubled from what you naively budgeted for. That's another $100 to $200 a month gone. Finally, you have homeowners association and community development district fees. While many parts of Palm Bay have no HOA, many newer communities do. A typical HOA fee can be anywhere from $100 to over $350 a month. And these fees are not set in stone. They can and do go up. Even worse are special assessments, where the HOA needs to do a major repair and suddenly every homeowner gets a bill for thousands of dollars and is due immediately. CDD fees are even less understood. It's basically a bond the developer took out to build a community, and you, the homeowner, pay it back over 20 or 30 years as an extra line item on your tax bill. This can add another $1,000 to $2,000 a year to your costs. Add it all up, the insurance is $400 more than you thought, taxes are $150 more, and HOA is $200. Suddenly, your housing cost is $750 higher than you planned. This is exactly how new homeowners go broke. My solution for you, you have to do your homework on the big three during your inspection period. Number one, for insurance, get quotes from multiple insurance agents the minute you're under contract. Give them the address and ask for a real quote based on the home's age and features. Do not, I repeat, do not wait until last minute. Number two, for property taxes, ignore the seller's tax bill. A good rule of thumb is to estimate your annual taxes as 1% to 1.25% of your purchase value. On a $320,000 home, budget for at least $3,200 to $4,000 a year. You can also use the Brevard County Property Appraiser's online estimator. And number three, for HOAs and CDDs, get the HOA documents as soon as you can. Look at their budget, their reserves, and meeting minutes. A poorly funded reserve is a huge red flag for a future special assessment. Read the rules and make sure you can actually live with them. Treat these three items with the same seriousness as the price of the house. They're not small details. They're the difference between a comfortable home and a financial prison. Okay, let's pause for a second. If your head is spinning a little bit, that's completely normal. This is complicated stuff, which is why so many people get tripped up by it. If you're finding this valuable and want to make sure you're protected when you buy, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. My whole goal here is to give you the real unfiltered advice you would need to build wealth through real estate and not lose it. Now let's get back to it. Now the fourth mistake is the most tempting, and it leads directly to a life of financial stress, stretching your budget to its absolute limit. To kind of paint a picture, here's how it goes. You talk to a lender, they run your numbers, and they come back with, congratulations, you're pre-approved for a $400,000 mortgage. Your eyes light up. You immediately start looking at homes in the $390,000 to $400,000 range. I mean, the bank said you can afford it, so it must be fine, right? This is the house poor trap. Just because a bank is willing to lend you that much money doesn't mean you should actually borrow it. The bank's calculation is just a risk assessment for them. It's based on your gross income and debt, and it pushes you right into the financial edge. Their math doesn't care if you want to save for retirement, pay for your kids' soccer leagues, go on vacation, or handle a surprise emergency. When you max out your budget, you end up with a beautiful house, but no life to live in it. You become house poor, plain and simple. Every single dollar is accounted for. You can't afford to furnish the new, bigger space, so rooms just sit empty. You stop going out with friends. You feel a knot of dread every time the AC makes a weird noise, because you know you have absolutely $0 set aside for a repair. A single unexpected car problem could mean a missing mortgage payment. This is not the Florida dream. It's a self-imposed prison with a really nice backyard. Even worse, in a cooling market like we're seeing in 2025, Overstretching your budget puts you in a serious risk of going underwater or upside down in some sales terms. And what that means is you owe more than the home is worth. So if you buy that $400,000 house with a small down payment and the market dips under, let's say 5 to 6%, you could instantly be underwater. You can't sell, you can't refinance, you're just completely stuck. The solution is to create your own budget, not just take the bank's number. First, use the 28-36 rule as a guide. It's a classic financial guideline that's much safer. It says your total housing payment, or PITI plus HOA, should not be more than 28% of your gross monthly income. Your total debt payments, meaning house, car, student loans, and credit cards, should not be more than 36% of your gross monthly income as well. Do the math yourself. You might find that while the bank approved you for a home that puts you at a 40% housing ratio, the 28% rule suggests a more comfortable price point. Buy the house you can afford comfortably, not just the house the bank says you can technically afford. Second, and this is a non-negotiable, you must have a financial cushion after paying your down payment and closing costs. This is your emergency fund of up to 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. If your total monthly bill is at $5,000, you need $15,000 to $30,000 in savings on the day you close. This is your freedom fund. It's what lets you sleep at night. Consider starting your search at lower price points, seeing what's available for $50,000 less than your maximum pre-approval. You might find a perfectly amazing home that allows you to live a full life and not just a life spent paying for your house. The final mistake that leads to financial ruin is letting your heart completely take over your head. It's falling in love with that pretty stuff and ignoring the deal breakers. You walk into a house, the walls are perfectly neutral gray, the kitchen has sparkling new countertops, and it's staged like something out of a magazine. You can instantly picture living there. You're in love. The emotional connection is powerful. And it's also incredibly dangerous because while you're admiring the backsplash, you're not paying attention to the major, unchangeable red flags that will affect your life and your home's value every single day. What kind of red flags am I talking about? The ones that staging can't hide. I saw a couple fall in love with a home because it had a stunning resort-style pool. They were so focused on that one feature, they completely ignored that the house backed into a busy, noisy section of Malabar Road. 6 months later, they were miserable. They could never enjoy the pool because of the constant traffic noise. They ended up selling at a loss. Another classic in Palm Bay is ignoring flood zones. Buyers think, I'm not on the ocean, so I'm fine. But many inland areas are in designated flood zones due to canals and drainage. They buy the house only to get hit with a mandatory flood insurance policy that costs thousands a year. And also it's a cost they never budgeted for. Other red flags people ignore in the heat of the moment include the commute. You love the house, but it adds 30 minutes to your daily drive to your job at L3 Harris or Northrop Grumman. That's an hour in your car every single day. The school district. Even if you don't have kids, a poorly rated school district can seriously hurt your home's future value. Also the neighborhood vibes. The house is perfect, but the surrounding yards are unkept and properties are run down. That'll drag your home's value immediately. Also the floor plan. You love the kitchen, but convince yourself you can live with a terrible layout, like having to walk through a bedroom to get to the only bathroom. Future buyers will hate that. When you make an emotional purchase, you're buying the seller's pretty furniture, not the house itself. When that staging is gone and you're left with the flaws, deep regret kicks in. The solution is to create a logical system to keep your emotions in check. First, before you even look at a house, make a needs versus wants checklist. Needs are the non-negotiables. 3 bedrooms, a commute under 30 minutes, not in a high-risk flood zone. Wants are the nice-to-haves, a swimming pool, a 3-car garage. When you look at a house, judge it against your needs list first, and if the house doesn't meet your absolute needs, it doesn't matter how pretty the kitchen is, you walk away. This keeps you grounded. Second, be a detective. Visit the property at different times. Drive by on a Monday morning to check the commute. Swing by on a Friday night to see what the neighborhood is like. Third, use online tools. You can use FEMA's official map to check the property's flood zone. You can use local crime mapping websites. Verify everything yourself. And finally, lean on your support system. A great buyer's agent is your unemotional partner in this. They can be the one to say, I know you love the paint color, but did you notice the water tower in the backyard? Buying a home is always emotional, and that's okay, but you can't let the emotions be the only thing driving the bus. Balance it with the logic to protect yourself from a decision you'll regret. So, those are the 5 critical traps that are costing new homeowners in Palm Bay a fortune in 2025. 1. Overpaying by using outdated info from the market frenzy. 2. Skipping the inspection and gambling with huge repair bills. 3. Underestimating the big 3. Shocking insurance rates, surprise tax hikes, and draining HOA fees. 4. Stretching the budget and becoming house poor with no safety net. And 5. Making emotional decisions while ignoring major red flags. Buying a home is one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. The difference between it being a blessing that builds your wealth and a curse that drains your bank account comes down to one thing: preparation. It's about knowing the new rules of the game and doing your homework. Don't let your dream of owning a home in beautiful Palm Bay become a financial nightmare. Be diligent, be skeptical, and most importantly, be informed. I really hope this breakdown was valuable for you. This is the kind of deep dive knowledge every buyer needs right now, especially in this climate. If you got something out of this, please hit that like button. It definitely helps the channel reach more people. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss our next video. Finally, if you're thinking about buying or selling here in the Space Coast and you want a team that puts your financial security first, there's a link in the description below where you can book a free, no pressure call with yours truly. We can talk about your goals and build a smart strategy that actually works for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be smart, be safe, and I'll see you in the next one.